Hey everyone, welcome to 7 Afternoon here at the Digital News Desk. I'm here with Robert Bowen. He is the Community Health Lead with North Country Family Health. Thank you for joining me this
Well, thanks
afternoon.
for having me. I appreciate it, Mackenzie.
We
Thank you.
have a very timely topic talking about
Yes.
mental health around the holidays.
Yes.
So Christmas is a little over a week away,
It's
and
here.
we were talking off air for a little bit. I mean, the holiday season just in general can be so stressful, not just with the expectations, but also with the weather too. So, there's a
Yep.
few different ways as to how this time of year can cause so much stress and so much mental load for
It can.
people.
It can. There's a lot of stress this time of year. A lot of it is self-implied. We put this on ourselves, to try to have that perfect holiday or whatever it is. Sometimes it actually even starts, at the end of October with seasonal defect disorder. Lack of sunshine. These kind of things can happen and affect our mood, our energy levels, these things. And then coming around the holidays, family events, sometimes not even, toxic or whatever kind of families. Just you're trying to do that perfect holiday. You're trying to see everybody. Financial stresses. We a lot of times, go over our budget, and so, that's this time of year, and a lot of us do it. 89% of people in the American Psychological Association recently reported high stress around this time, and about 41% of those said that's an increase from normal. So it is an increase.
Right. Well, I know, just trying to think of things with changing around this year, especially with the cost of living. I know my friends and I, we all agreed, okay, no gifts this year. We're just going to get together just because financially that can be such a strain. Do you have tips for people, just some generic basic ones as to maybe
Absolutely.
ease that anxiety a
Yeah.
little bit?
Well, I mean, that's a great one right there is kind of setting a budget,
Hmm.
setting boundaries, setting a budget, um, doing like crafts or something meaningful, some experiences, less expensive kind of things. These are definitely a great thing to do. A lot of times, too, is managing these expectations and setting boundaries with family and friends and events. You know, um, don't have to go to each and every one of those holiday parties. You don't have to bring a gift to each and every one of those holiday parties. Finding time for yourself, remembering those things that you enjoy, whether it's your hobbies or exercise or finding some breathing or meditation technique. I'm a big proponent of yoga. Is one of the things that I do outside of my work is I teach yoga, and it's amazing what that can do. And so that's some of the keeping a regular sleep pattern, trying to eat nutritionally healthy.
That can be really hard to
It
do.
is very difficult. We have a lot of good food out there, a lot of treats, a lot of cookies.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but these are some of those things that we can do to try to manage it. Maintaining those healthy habits. Also, is being present in the moment. I will give a quote from Ram Dass. He said, "Be here now." And so I like to use that a lot of times too. Is focus on the present, and that will lessen the thoughts of past or future holiday events. Again, sometimes the holidays bring up the loss of loved ones. Sometimes it brings up a feeling of loneliness or something like that. So being in the present and again reaching out family and friends. Maybe consider volunteering. This is a great time of year to volunteer, and there's a great group of people who volunteer right alongside you, and those great spirits will just, again, maybe bring you out of those, feelings of depression and add to the spirit of the
Oh,
holidays.
yeah. Giving back can be so beneficial and rewarding. I'm thinking just even with like the Red Kettle campaigns with the Salvation Army, you could go be a bell ringer for an hour or two.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that would really just boost your spirits, I think. That
It
would be really
does,
nice.
and the gratitude that you get from again people that you're doing that for, or your fellow volunteers, it's amazing.
So with the holidays coming up and with getting together with family, I know there can be a lot with setting those boundaries. What would
Hmm.
be some tips for, especially with the political climate and maybe some family members have some disagreeing views? What would be some tips you would give so that people could kind of set those boundaries in a respectful way and
Yeah,
so that it's not
yeah.
stressful for everyone?
Well, it's hard. I don't ever like to give advice, but I will give the facts. And the facts are you can state your position and make everybody upset or not. Or you can again limit it by, refocusing that talk on the kids, the time of year, maybe something like that. We don't have to go on those roads down the political line. You can definitely, and again, you don't have to lie. You don't have to, say that you don't believe this or believe that. You can even, honor yourself and limit your time with family and friends in this situation by saying, I have another engagement, and the engagement is you, and practicing some self care and skirting that issue by not engaging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. A lot better than some conflict or something along those lines.
Yeah, we don't always have to have conflict.
No. And then you mentioned earlier some seasonal depression. Is there anything you'd recommend for if people are dealing with that?
You can always talk to your provider. Always talk to your primary care provider. But exercise is a great thing, and not just like exercise, like you got to do a big workout or anything like that. But walking, getting out in the environment. There are again sleep patterns, regulating your sleep. No blue light. No phones before bed. No eating 3 hours before bed. Get full good rest. These kind of things.
I think one of my friends had one of those lights that was for seasonal
Yeah,
depression. Have you
yes.
ever seen
I
those?
have, I have. And so there's things like that you can get. Again, I'm working at a doctor's office. I always like to, have your provider weigh in. But there are things that you can get like that will wake you up with a natural glow of sun, and it's a light. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
supposed to kind of help with the
mm-hmm,
seasonal
mm-hmm.
depression and everything.
Yeah.
That's really nice. All right, so seasonal depression, then of course dealing with family members, and then last minute too, trying to get all those plans together. I know even me, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to have time to wrap everything for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas this year, and just trying to organize it all. Do you have any tips for that?
Well, giving yourself grace.
Mhm.
Planning is huge and instrumental in making these things happen. But giving yourself grace, especially with like weather you talked about, maybe weather comes up and you're not going to be able to make that drive to Central Square to see Aunt Hilda. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And having a contingent plan that I will see them after the holidays.
Mm.
These are the things that we can do.
Oh yeah. Well, I always think it's about the season too, because I know, especially with people traveling, flights around the holidays are so expensive. A lot of people are planning things past or before Christmas just so that they can see family and not totally break the bank
They
to do
do. They
so.
do. It is not the traditional always now. That traditional, everybody all at once in one household. Sometimes it's broken up even throughout the year like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So for someone maybe that's dealing with something a little more serious and is feeling really down or depressed, are there resources available that they could use locally?
There's some great resources. We have some warm lines in the community. Mental Health Association, NERCL, Northern Regional Center for Independent Living. They have some warm lines you can call and talk to somebody. We do have a crisis response, a couple crisis response numbers for Jefferson and Lewis County, as well as
Yep,
St.
those are up on the
Lawrence.
screen right now. So
Yeah.
one for each, well, more than one actually, for each county
Mm-hmm.
that people can use to
Yeah.
contact. And no shame in doing that.
No, absolutely. You're not. Nobody's going to call the police and get them right out to come to your home. They're just access for you to be able to talk to somebody and let them know what's going on, and they can talk to you through it. And again, it's one of those things of reach out. You don't have to sit in isolation. There are people out there, and there's a great wealth of people in this community that are manning these warm lines and crisis response
Yeah.
lines. Yeah.
A nice reminder that the community is there for you. And, if there is a loved one or a friend or coworker that you know of that you might be worried about or feeling like they might Be feeling alone this holiday season, do you have any tips on what they can do to help?
You can absolutely reach out to somebody. In mental health first aid, we talk about seeing the signs and recognizing the signs.
Mhm.
And some of those signs is just some change behavior and listening to somebody and what they say. And don't be afraid to say, hey, how you doing? And mean it
Mhm.
and be sincere. And that doesn't mean you have to invite them over,
Mhm.
but you can.
Yeah,
Why not? You
it's the
know?
spirit, the
It is.
holiday
Yeah.
spirit.
So enjoy.
I love it. Well, all right. So we have the information that was up on the screen where people could go to get those resources that are available. What about any events coming up? I know there's always different mental health walks or things where people can get more
Right.
resources.
Right now, we're kind of winding down the end of the year, but a couple of the committees and boards that I get to be a part of, we're gearing up for next year. So be looking for May. That's usually the Mental Health Awareness Month. That's when we do our annual walk here in town in Jefferson County. And then throughout the summer, like August is Overdose Awareness Month, September is Suicide Prevention Month. Those are the ones that I know of right now that we're already gearing up and planning for next year.
Yeah, it's a nice way too to get with some like-minded people and plan that out and know that you're helping out the community and then also that there are people there to help you as well.
All the resources come out. They have a wealth of information, and again, it's support with camaraderie with other people in the community. It's fun, it's food, it's festive, music. Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah, that's really nice. Well, this was overall a nice reminder that, the holidays are supposed to be enjoyable. Do not
Yes.
stress about it. And there is help available for those that are stressing or need that extra assistance. Do you have kind of one final message for people that might be struggling throughout this holiday season?
Just again, I would say that, no shame in reaching out. This is a stressful time. We do it, and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be full of love and spirit and giving back to each other. And so I would say give to yourself and give yourself some grace and take care of yourself. And again, reach out. There are people out there for you.
That's a great message, a great reminder. Robert, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us at the 7 News Digital News Desk, and thanks for tuning in.